Multipliers is required reading for anybody in upper level management at the Fountain on Locust, Steve's Hot Dogs, or one of our Hustle Hospitality companies. We know that the book is long and it's a big ask to ask anybody to go through the whole thing. So we created a summary for you. We also know that even reading this summary can be hard for some people, and this information is too important for you to miss out on. So I've recorded this short video to read the summary to you to ensure that maybe it will help you solidify the concepts and take the knowledge with you. Multiplier summary, a summary of the Liz Wiseman book on leadership. As a high school athlete, Irvin Magic Johnson was so good at basketball that his coach had his teammates get him the ball as often as possible. The team won a lot because Johnson was great at making shots. There was only one problem. At the end of each game, Magic felt disheartened at the sad faces of his teammates and their parents who didn't get to see them shine. The nickname Magic came after Johnson implemented an idea that he had to fix the problem. Rather than being the center of attention and getting all of the team's points, he decided to see how he could utilize his skills to help his colleagues be the best. Eventually, he developed the astounding art of improving the abilities of every teammate, thus making the entire team stronger. Magic's story is an example of a multiplier, or a leader that takes the talents of their team and multiplies them. In Liz Wiseman's Multipliers, How Leaders Make Everyone Smarter, she outlines the key traits of a multiplier leader and how to become one. At Hustle Hospitality, it's absolutely essential that every leader is a multiplier of people. We are a leadership factory as long as we are growing. We're obsessed with creating opportunities for the leaders that work for us. And we are only limited by the number, or by the talent that we have in our world and their level of leadership. 3 important points from multipliers. 1, diminishers reduce the effectiveness of their team, and multipliers expand their team's capabilities. 2, if you've got a diminisher boss, there is hope in learning and applying some defensive strategies to deal with them. 3, becoming a multiplier and improving your workplace is as simple as following a few quick practices. We each have the opportunity to become a multiplier rather than a diminisher leader. Multipliers extract people's full capabilities and intelligence. They are genius makers who bring out the best in others, delivering twice the capability and results of others while making everybody smarter in the process. Diminishers become absorbed in their own intelligence, draining teams of their energy, their intelligence, and motivation. Have you experienced these different types of leaders? Lesson 1. Bosses who are multipliers make their team better by magnifying their strengths, while selfish diminishers pull their team down. Although frequently intelligent, diminishers drain the enthusiasm and skills from their team. They focus more on their own strengths and qualities rather than exploring how to use the talents and strengths of others. Employees often feel inferior and unfulfilled in the presence of a diminisher who reduces people's potential and productivity. An example is a leader who smothers others' ideas, taking a large chunk of meeting times for their own plans. Multipliers, on the other hand, are good leaders that leverage the strengths of their team to improve output and intelligence. There are 5 types of multipliers. You can become all 5. 1, the liberator. The liberator invites team members' best ideas and work by fostering an intense environment where they're expected to do excellent work. They create a climate where people can do their best thinking and maintain an intensity that demands their best work. Contrast this with a diminishing, dominating tyrant that creates sort of negative tension that diminishes thinking and quality of work. Liberators instead step back and let their team work while expecting the best results. Liberators are not afraid to fail, provided it comes with lessons. Leader 2, the challenger. The challenger often helps people stretch themselves by looking for opportunities. Challengers motivate others to believe that reaching their goals is possible. Challengers define opportunities that stretch people beyond what they currently know, and they support them in that learning. Rather than being the know-it-all that gives directives, and then sucks up all the oxygen in the room with their own ideas. Multiplier number three, the talent magnet, my favorite. The talent magnet searches for talent, attracts it, notices an individual's greatest areas of expertise, and uses it in the precise place required. Talent magnets also eliminate hurdles to allow their team to reach their peak effectiveness. We want all of our leaders at Hustle Hospitality to be talent magnets. They are so good at finding talent and growing it that they actually get a reputation for it, and it bolsters the reputation of the companies at large. People will actually seek them out to come work for them. Every general manager within Hustle must be a talent magnet in order to earn their position. The debate maker. The debate maker improves decisions by creating an open environment for debate where all opinions are considered. This isn't appropriate in every situation, but you'll know the ones that are. They look to reach a resolution that fosters confidence. They pose questions, they listen to answers, they encourage conversation. They're more of a facilitator than the leader of the conversation per se. And they work with the team to come up with the best next step. And your fifth type of multiplier is the investor. The investor welcomes people's successes and they let them have ownership over their projects. Investors check that everyone gets the resources required to succeed, and then they hold them accountable to doing the work. They set the course with clear directions and provide every tool people will need. Then they step back and let them win. When they falter or need support, they say, "How can I support you?" A quote from the book: "It isn't how much you know that matters. What matters is how much access you have to what other people know. It isn't just how intelligent your team members are. It is how much of that intelligence you can draw out and put to use." Lesson 2. A little actionable advice on how to handle a diminisher boss can go a long way toward improving your workplace. Hopefully you don't have a diminisher boss, but if you do, it may be part of your role to help us deal with that person and improve their leadership. So this is an important section to know. Have you ever had a terrible boss? Between shows like The Office and even your typical workplace, there are far too many examples of bad bosses. Normally, when we encounter a diminisher, we are likely to avoid them, lay low, confront them, ignore them, or just quit. And you may see some of our employees have that same reaction. None of these knee-jerk reactions make any difference, though, or make anything better. Instead, there are a few defensive strategies. Whenever you're tempted to react quickly to a bad situation, instead take the time to examine the problem and how you can calm the conflict. At Apple, one leader took the time to relax and cool off after some extreme criticism from Steve Jobs. After regrouping, she came back and presented a new solution that satisfied both of them. That's one way to handle a diminisher. One boss I had was a terrible micromanager. He diminished my capabilities and my self-confidence. I'm grateful to learn that should I encounter this in the future, and I'm not likely to, I can emphasize my own qualifications to do the work without somebody looking over my shoulder. Once, one acquaintance of the author actually used the wording of loosening the choke chain to defer to a micromanaging boss. An employee under a difficult leader can even turn the tables by being a multiplier toward their boss. Look to your manager's skills as a way to effectively direct their attention. Looking back at Apple, one team member requested Steve Jobs' expertise at just the right moment to restrain his control on everything. So look for your boss's qualifications, call them out, let them know you see them. You can model this behavior and they will pick it up. In the handout on page 3, you'll see a chart that lays out diminisher tendencies and multiplier tendencies. Take a minute to look at this chart. Think of past bosses and then think about your own performance, because sometimes we can accidentally be diminishers. A quote from the book: "When a decision is high stakes, debate makers require everyone's best thinking. They know that people will do their best thinking if the issues are framed well and defined, and if the questions of the debate are clear. They know that debate will be at its richest if it is based on facts, not opinions, and that it takes foresight to gather the right information." Lesson 3. You may be a diminisher even accidentally. Here's how to fix it. Bad bosses or ineffective leaders are referred to as diminishers in this book because they truly diminish the potential of everybody that they supervise. You may sometimes be an accidental diminisher. Even I am on days. It's important to recognize that and resolve it. Most diminishers are not tyrannical bullies. The majority of us can be accidental diminishers, leaders with the best intentions, trying to do their best for their organizations and people. Tackling our diminishing tendencies starts with an awareness of our vulnerabilities through coaching, reflection, seeking feedback, challenging assumptions, and leading with intention. The author offers a series of practical multiplier experiments to help leaders tackle vulnerabilities, such as being the ideas guy, the always on leader, the rescuer, the pace setter, the rapid responder. These are all accidental diminishing personalities. And I've actually included a graphic in this summary for you to review. So maybe you've examined yourself and noticed some diminisher tendencies. What can you do about it? Well, here are some ways to become more of a multiplier in your everyday leadership. 1, identify and shine a light on others' genius. Look for strengths in your crew and call them out. Put them to work on projects that match their strengths. Everyone is brilliant at something. Label it, call it out so that they know it. Put it to use and shine a light on it. Call it out in front of others. 2, dial up your curiosity in difficult situations. Be less prone to judgment and avoid making assumptions. We are all prone to making assumptions when we sit and stew on something rather than dealing with it head on. We develop a narrative and come to a conclusion. Have you ever sat in the mirror and argued with someone that it's not there? That's what you're doing. When issues arrive, meet them with curiosity. Deal with them directly, but come from a place of questioning. Here's an issue I'm seeing in your performance. Can you tell me why this is happening? I have some ideas about what might be happening, but I'd rather hear your perspective to see how I can best support you to improve your performance. That may be one way you could handle it. I intend to dial up my curiosity and to find the native genius in people I lead and interact with. It is game changing. It helps you to really see the potential in everyone, to not diminish it by coming at them with assumptions. Maybe there was just misinformation or some confusion happening, and maybe it's not personal at all. So approaching hard problems with curiosity can be important. Step 2, frame and facilitate debates. I love this. It builds on some areas of personal strength, but as someone with a tendency to drive decisions, there is power in the intention of process. It starts with bringing the right people together, framing an issue, and the logic. It is critical to define good or hard questions and ensure people have time to prepare the information, evidence, and data to support their views. Meaning, there's a problem. We're going to frame the problem for people, give them data, take the emotion out of it. We aren't looking to talk about feelings. We're looking to talk about solutions. By bringing them data, the team is better equipped, having looked at the challenge from all angles, to make better, often quicker, intelligent decisions. In this article, you will see my graphic, 6 types of accidental diminishers. If you haven't already reviewed it, review it. See if any of these apply to you. Another tool to help you implement this new mindset in your leadership: extreme questioning and everyday conversations. It starts by staying curious, slowing down, and having a mindset of learning from everyone. The challenge is to experiment with different types of questions, from leading and guiding questions to those that challenge assumptions and discover new ideas. Can you lead a conversation by only asking questions? Rather than attempting to be the best at everything, look at one strength you can improve. Next, test the assumptions you make against the qualities of multipliers to find your weaknesses and improve your attitude. Look to the 5 types of multipliers for guidance on where you shine, as well as areas that you can improve. Most importantly, keep going after you become a multiplier to help others become multipliers as well. We all falter in times of high stress, and sometimes we will slide back into diminished tendencies. Keep coming back to this. Come back to the book, which you have access to. Spread the word of what being a multiplier means with your workplace to help the entire team uncover their special talents and skills. Make those around you into multipliers. No matter what their position is, each individual in our organization can become a revolutionary multiplier. A quote from the book: "A multiplier never wants to be the smartest person in the room. They want to make everyone around them better, smarter, faster. They know that the organization will be 10 times stronger if everyone knows what they know. They pour into people, even if those people will someday leave, knowing that they are making everyone around them better, and that those people will tell others that they should work for that leader." True multipliers post far fewer hiring ads. They have people clamoring to work for them. That's what we want for you. Lesson 4, applying multipliers in the food service industry. Multipliers in the food industry may look like this. 1, looking for something good people are doing, calling it out in person, and posting it in GroupMe. This serves as an example to everybody about what the good behavior is, and it really makes the person feel special. 2, communicating to the team regularly in the group chat, keeping them informed so they're never taken back by anything, an event, a shortage, a special, a staffing change. 3, holding daily meetings with your team. Mid-shift meetings may be what you do. Ensuring that everybody feels completely guided and is clear about their course for the day so that they can be as successful as possible. 4, when they recognize that someone is especially good at coaching people, for example, they may ask them if they're interested in becoming a trainer so that they can be in their strength zone. Multipliers are always looking for what people are good at and trying to put them in their strength zone so that they can realize success after success after success. When they recognize those successes, they become attached and addicted to winning, and they want to stay with us. 5, they ask questions rather than making assumptions. When someone is falling short or messes up, rather than calling it out in group chat, they have a one-on-one talk with that person. They share their observations and they ask, was there some confusion about what was needed here? Why did it happen this way? How can I support you in doing better? Then they wait for the response and they listen. Once they listen to the employee's response, they offer clarifications around expectation and they ask, how can I support you in meeting these expectations? And then they always deliver that support. 6, they remove roadblocks. If people are regularly failing at something, they give them solutions. They develop training guides that help everybody be better. They raise a red flag to corporate and say, hey, something's wrong here and I need help finding a solution. 7, they seek collective input and intelligence when faced with a challenge. They recognize appropriate opportunities for employee input. Not every situation is appropriate for employees to weigh in on, but when they find one, they encourage ideation. When employees see their ideas being implemented, it improves their sense of ownership, their pride, their level of investment, and their performance. 8, they are obsessed with growing leaders and helping people find success. They talk to their team. They know their personal and professional goals. They want to help them achieve them, even if that means that someday they leave the company. They have a growth path in their head for everybody around them, even when their new roles aren't yet available. They find projects to help keep people engaged and bought in until the next promotion or opportunity arises. And 9, they keep people around longer. Turnover drops. Instead of an employee turning every 6 to 12 months and us having to go through a constant cycle of hiring and training, which is costly, they are able to keep people engaged for 18 months, 2 years, or longer because they are devoted to their leader and they want to stay with them. They know that if they go somewhere else, they are less likely to feel so cared for. At the bottom of the article, you see a quick graphic that shows a diminisher typically gets only about 50% of their team's actual knowledge. Growth suffers, team members quit, and organizations have to scramble to replace roles. The multiplier, on the other hand, typically gets at least 2 times of the team's intelligence. They see team effort increase, revenue increase, and organizations thrive. How can you be a multiplier?